Welcome back to another exciting edition of Duckman Cycles VW Garage. This is the Hurricane Michael edition, 2018. That's right, currently Hurricane Michael is still off the Gulf Coast here, and I put an update over on VV the Duck VV. If you want to head on over to the other channel, I'm going to be posting storm updates as that storm approaches the coast here, and it's supposed to hit Panama City, not Pensacola directly, which is a great thing for me, that it goes to the east. That way I avoid all of the really hard, heavy stuff that's on the opposite side of the storm. But what we're going to work on today, while it's still not raining, it was raining a little bit earlier, but it's not raining now, we're going to go ahead and get a little more work done on Eleanor, the 1956 Volkswagen Chop Top Beetle. This was a car I put together from junk, absolute junk. This car needed everything when I got it. It had actually broken in the middle and just collapsed. It was under 6 feet of seawater during Hurricane Ivan and left outside for 10 years to rot after that, and by the time I got it, it was just ruined. So here she is, seeing another hurricane yet again, and actually last summer, the original oval window from this car got busted during hurricane preparation. It wasn't directly affected by the hurricane, but rather when I was putting everything away in the shed, the glass had fallen down on its end. It was somehow propped up unusually. Fell down, and when it fell, it busted and blew all over the place. And I thought it was a quarter window from another car. And when I went back to get the oval, it wasn't there. And that's when I realized the glass that was everywhere was the oval window. So anyway, I cried about that pretty heavily. But a very new friend of mine on Facebook, Rodney Culp, unfortunately he had a disaster himself. His garage burnt down, and he lost his shop and a couple of his cars. And even 2 of his dogs died in the accident, and I'm really sorry for all that. But just before that situation occurred, he had an extra glass, and he sent one to me. So once again, Eleanor will be complete with an oval window. And I tried to get that onto the car for the show last year, but unfortunately it just didn't work out. But this year, we're going to try to get that glass in there, even if I don't get the car painted. Well, I know I'm not going to get the car painted, but even if the car is not in primer yet, I'm still going to get back there and go ahead and put the glass in, just for show. But anyways, as always, I want you to like, comment, and subscribe. Pluck that little dingle belly down there next to the subscribe button. That way you get updates every time I upload a new video. And please, post me a comment. Let me know what goes on here. In fact, I'm going to actually give a little challenge to you guys, because I've seen a lot of comments come through all the time. They kind of, a little bit of a peeve. It kind of rings my dinger a little bit. And those are the comments that begin with the 2 words, you should. You should do this, you should do that, you should make this happen, you should stand on your head and rub your balls 3 times. I mean, it's always, you should. Well, if you want me to do the car a certain way, then, I could build one for you, pay me. But this is my car. And unfortunately, my budget isn't big enough, nor is my shop big enough like Sam Crack is, where he can go ahead and buy a car from an auction and build it with nothing but viewer suggestions. But no, this car is mine, and I have accepted a few viewer suggestions that were in line with my plans, but this car is going to be mine. I try not to talk too much about the future stuff, because if I told you guys that I was restoring an oval and I was going to do a roof chop on it, the first thing you guys would do is yell at me. And that's why I kept the project quiet for several months while I did the chop work, so that way when I revealed it, look, done already, now you can't bitch about it. I made that mistake when I talked about engine plans, and that's probably the most disliked video that I put up all this year. So yeah, I don't talk too much about the future of the car anymore. Rather, I'm just going to show progress when it occurs. So anyways, thanks you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to check out Duckman Cycles VW Garage group page, and if you want to email me, duckshit at... Ooh, no, it's not duckshit at. duckmancycles@duckshit.net. Thanks so much for watching. Well, alright, we're back. Thanks for sticking with me. We got a loud plane flying over, but I'm going to record a video anyway. So what we were working on yesterday, before it got dark, was I did a lot of the fill up in here in these corners, and got the rounding of them set perfectly. And I mean, this is just wonderful. Just running my finger through it, I just can't believe how flat it looks. And it might look a little wonky to you or jaggy, but that's just the surface of the metal. It's actually flat, running my thumb over it. Well, there's a weld BB right there. Oh, just came off. There it is. But yeah, it's flat. It's flat. It's going to need barely any sanding left at all, and not a whole lot of fill. And that really was my goal on this car, is to do everything in metal. I don't want to be a cop-out and do all fill. But this is nice all through here, and then this is that corner that I made. You see how nice and rounded that is with a nice radius? It needs a little bit of touch-up now that I see it in the daylight, but I mean, it's good, it's solid. The door, yeah, it's no longer has a, I used to be able to twist the B-pillar side of the door here, and the top, of course, but now that that's welded closed, that's no longer possible. So that turned out really, really well. I need to get this side here, and I keep talking about it, but I really don't want to do it, but it needs to be done. So I'm going to get in there and get this thing cut up and fixed too, and get that straightened out. And also, there's something down here which I keep missing, and I don't know what the hell I was doing there, but I need to cut out a little piece of that too and weld that thing closed. This here, this jaggy edge that you see, I'm going to actually deal with this after the show. This will be part of my winter project. We'll get that straightened out, and once I get this door finished up with all this stuff that's here in the A-pillar side of the door, of course my phone's going to ring while I'm recording, but once I get this finished up, then we're going to go run over to the other side and do the same things on the other side. Well, let's go find out what kind of person's trying to call me. Well, the number on that call was unavailable, and I don't take unavailable phone numbers. I'm sorry. Nope, they go straight to voicemail. Okay, I did cutting to that little triangle piece here, so that way it fits perfectly into the spot it's supposed to go. What I'll do is I'll push the tip of it with a screwdriver just a little bit, and then I'll start to tack it in and work my way all the way around it and be done with it. Done with it. I thought that was going to be harder to get a saw in there, and I had been putting that off just for that reason, and it turned out it wasn't all that bad. Alright, we got up in here, and I got all this filled in and ground down, and it's all sealed up now. There's a little bit of a dent over here that I hadn't noticed before. The other side over here, on the other side, doesn't have that. So I don't quite know what I did over here, but somehow I conformed that a little differently. So I think I'd have to pull the dent out of here, and then maybe add just a little skim of filler. But it's just a little bit of a bump. It's a little higher than the rest. I don't even know if the camera can see it, but I feel it. I know it's there. Of course, when you close the door, you don't even see it. And unless those two doors are side by side, you probably wouldn't even know. I think it's one of those things that, because I'm being a little OCD about it, that it's just not perfect. Yeah, I guess you can kind of see it looking there. You can see the dent. It's a little dented in there. Anyway, I'll pull that out, or at least make it a little better than it is. Okay, meanwhile, I finished up the A-pillar side of the door over here, so now this is all matched up. It's still going to need some grinding, but it's all sealed up. And I have to attack this side over here, and I'm thinking the best way to do it is to cut real close to the edge on the right side, straight down, and then just bend it over and then fill it up. And I think that will solve the problem over here. Otherwise, I'm quite happy with everything on this door, the way it's fitting. And if I attack that, finish that up, finish out this little piece here, and that should just about get it for the car show. On this side, anyway, on this side on the door. And having a look at the car here, there's not a whole lot of this old jungle green paint left on it anymore. You see there's just a few spots where it's showing through up here. There's a little spot up here. On the rear quarter windows is still a little bit. I saw some somewhere around near the fender over here somewhere. But no, there's not a whole lot of green left. Most of the green is completely gone. Alright, we're going to keep on working on this thing. Let's see how much more we can get straightened out here. Few people asked me for a little better detail on the cuts, and you can see right here how I cut that vertically, and I spread the piece over just like that, so that way the contours align. And then it's real easy to come through here with the welder and just fill that in. Now I should sand it, and I probably should have done that before I even cut the joint, because now it's too soft to actually get a sander on it. So I'll tack it together in a couple spots. I'll sand it down, and then I'll run the welder down the length of it and get that straightened out. I've also had to bend the inside of it a similar way, so that's got a kind of a goofy looking sloppy gap on that right now, but I'll get it started here, fix this up, then I'll come back in here and fill that out. But yeah, that's gonna get it. I'm quite happy with that. I'd like to point out that the sun actually came out for a little bit here. It's been out for about 10 minutes or so while I'm cutting and welding. Anyway, you can see what we're doing on here. I'm going to hit it with the grinder next, but I think everything is good. When I hit it with the grinder, I'm going to look for any pinholes, fill them up, and then we'll show you again what we wound up with as a result. Alright, there we have it. Perfect contour. Both the pieces now line up. Needs a little bit of touch-up in there because it looks like I missed a spot welding. But perfect matchup right here. Everything's nice and smooth contoured, both inner and outer. The gap in here is a little wide, but I can pinch that together. Like I said, with a pair of pliers, I'll just pinch it. put something in between here to stop this from closing up, and then just pinch it together a little bit. It's metal. I mean, metal bends. Metal bends. So, looking at this and this corner over here and this one, I think we're in pretty good shape. And what we need to do next is fix this little bite that's over here. Make a little donor piece to go in there and weld that sucker closed once and for all. And then I think I can call this door done. Waiting for some more grinding and fill. Oh, no, maybe not. Almost forgot. I need to finish re-welding this through here. I started up here and stopped about here earlier, but I still need to go across the whole thing. And like I said, I'll stick a drop light up inside the door so I can see the little pinholes, little stars of light. And then run along it and just, you know, fill them in. Each one of them should be just fine. Okay, that makes me happy. That was something that was bothering me also. And that's now straight. Up in here, it looks like I need either a little more bending or a little more grinding. I'm noticing that there's, now that I'm looking at it from a different angle, there's a little point right here that needs to come off. Yeah, I think I can just grind that down. Just a little extra weld right there. I still need to grind up on the inside too. So I need to get in there with the disc and cut upwards. This side I've already done that, so there's no work in there that needs to be done. Okay. Rock and roll. Hell yeah. Look at that door. Look at that sexy motherfucking door. Nice steering wheel, by the way. There we go. Now it doesn't look so dorky. Excellent. Okay, so having a look at that little corner piece that I put in there. Looking pretty good. Needs a little more sanding, a little more grinding, but it's pretty good right where it's at. I'm going to call this door just about finished for the car show. Other than requiring a little bit of bending, tweaking, and maybe a pinhole here and there that I need to weld in. On the outside, it's visually acceptable. Just about ready for a skim of filler and some primer. So there's not too much more that I need to do to the outside of it. Well, there's a little pinhole there, but you get the point. I mean, geez, I probably won't spend that much more time on it to get this door situated the way I want it. Yeah, overall, I'm very, very happy with that. And like I said, that corner on there turned out really nice. As did this section over here. Yeah, that turned out really nice too. Still needs a little more sanding, a little more grinding. Some of this stuff still does, but it's all stuff that's simple tweaks. The fact is, this contour now blends, and no longer are people going to go at the car show and point to it and go, "What's this?" Because now you know what it is. So that's it for now. I hope you enjoy my videos. If you do, of course, click the likey button. Please leave a comment down below. And as my discussion earlier in the video about the you shoulds, why don't you say something about what you should or I should, what you'd like to see me do, or you know, what you would like to, I don't know, make fun of me if you want to. I'm fine with it. You ain't gonna hurt me any. You should brush your teeth more often. You should wash your ass. You guys can come up with something, I'm sure. You know, you should paint the car pink, Pepto-Bismol pink. Actually, there is a oval, 1957 oval over in, no, 55 oval. Yeah, I think it's a 55 oval over in Crestview, owned by a guy over there with white window rubbers. So I think that's rather fascinating. But anyways, like, comment, subscribe, pluck the little dingle belly down there next to the subscribe button. That way you get updates every time I upload a video. Don't forget to check out the Duckman Cycles and VW Garage Facebook page. Join the group. There'll be a discussion on this as well as anything else that anybody else wants to share. So whatever you got, share it. If you got a question, I don't care what, we'll take care of you. We'll be sure to answer your question. Anyways, thanks as always. We'll see you next time.